Right, guys, welcome back. This is Above Average FPL. My name is Adam, and his name is Baker. How are you doing this evening, mate?
Very well, mate. Very, very well.
Good stuff. What are you making of the game week then? Is it so far? No, the game week's done, isn't it?
Game week's done, isn't it?
It's so weird because we don't normally. Well, normally we end up podding, and there seems to be a game left, but no, we're actually done, which is nice. Yeah,
it is nice.
How'd you get
I think it'll be that way for a while, won't it? I suppose with Europe and stuff like that, that we should be all right.
We should be all right. It's still going to be difficult for us to get content out that isn't expired in 3 days, but we're good. We're good. The Champions League coming up, it's going to make it a bit more challenging. But we're here to say what we see from the games at the weekend, and that's our USP, I guess. So
I'd completely forgotten the fact that Europe comes in and it completely ruins all our views every single week because we say all the stuff and then Tuesday, Wednesday turns up and everyone gets injured and it's a complete waste of time.
Wow. Yeah. But
that's why we look backwards, mate. That's why we look backwards on the weekend. But the week, like in general, I think there's lots where it's like panicking because it's got low scores and stuff. Realistically, if you had Toney or you had McAllister, can we just go McAllister?
McAllister, yeah.
We'll just go McAllister, shall we, on that one? If you had Rashford, and plenty still do have Rashford, those type of players in, or if you had Pope, Trippier, you had Newcastle defence, you've had a good week. Yeah. You've had a really good week. And if you didn't have it, there's probably less than 10 points between the worst that you're ever going to see and what most people have got.
Yeah.
And I don't have any of those that had the really good ones, and I had an okay with the rest of them. So I had an okay week. Like it's.
What did you finish on?
I
didn't even look, to be honest.
No, I don't. I think
Not
I
yours,
looked. Anyway. I saw. I think I had 15 points less than yours. And hey, did you have Toney?
Yeah, I had Toney.
And how many points did he get?
17. Yeah.
So I had a player that got 2 and you had a player that got 17.
Yeah. Happy
Guess
days.
what? It's the difference, isn't it? It's either you had them or you didn't. And if you didn't, I like it. That's what you want. Single game weeks, like individual players making a difference. Fantastic.
Yeah. Definitely makes it for more fun. And it makes Twitter a bit more interesting as well. I mean, I was listening earlier and if you think you've had a bad week, one of the better managers out there, one of the best managers out there, Abdul, like he 29 points this week.
I think I've seen lots of players that had 29 points. I think Fabio Borges.
They've all got the same team, mate. That's why.
Nice dig. I think Fabio had 26 points. I think I saw.
Really?
So look,
I'm gonna have a look at that now. But
you need to see it, don't you? Only you need to see it because how many points did you get this week?
I had 55 points this week. So yeah, a good week. And it was funny yesterday because we were talking through the Saturday games at 3:00, and and I was on this walk that I was going on, and I messaged you. I was like, mate, I've only got Neco and Toney. That's all I've got. That's all I've got in the 3:00 games. There's like loads of games. All I've got. I got 4 points for 21 points out of those two, which was
yeah. You got 29 points as well. All got the same team, mate.
I've got the same team.
I got 41. Yeah, fine. Yeah, move on.
It's all right. It's all right. And hello to everyone in the chat. Let us know how you've got on. Template FC mudded. Indeed, Andy Martin, massive 40-something points on a bench boost.
Stop it.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
He's doing good. He's back in the game.
He's back in the game.
Back in the game, mate.
And wildcards are going to change everything anyway. So
loads on wildcard, mate. We'll have a bit of chat about that.
It's all going to be good fun. So yeah, hello to everyone in the chat at the moment. If you have questions, chuck them in. If they're worthy of answering at the time we read them, then we'll answer them then. If not, then we'll probably answer them later on when we get to a point where it's relevant, to be honest. So, but we'll try and answer everything as we go along anyway. So
let's go.
Plug time. Firstly, guys and girls, thank you for joining us. Whether you're catching up with the podcast, whether you're watching on YouTube, or whether you're with us in the live stream, we appreciate every single one of you. And that doesn't matter whether you found us for the first time here today, or whether you're a seasoned follower of the show. Above Average FPL is supported by our good friend Dan. He is at CryptoBlockDan on Twitter. Dan has been in the crypto space for many, many years, doing very, very well. And he's currently working as an analyst with a company who works specifically in play-to-earn crypto gaming. Now, if you're interested in the blockchain, if you're interested in NFTs and the use cases of the technology in the future, then please go drop him a follow. Go ask him some questions. I'm sure he'd be happy to answer anything that you need to know. If you haven't maxed out all your mini leagues yet, there's one more that you can join. That is UAT148. The auto join links are going to be down in the description below. Last year's winner, Jamie Pickett, is in there, so it must be a good mini league to be in, I would say. And we're going to shut entries at the start of the World Cup, so make sure you get in there nice and early and see if you can win it. If you enjoyed the content that you see today, there's a couple of ways in which you can support the channel. The first one is to like, comment, subscribe and review. It helps us promote the channel and it allows us to reach more and more people looking for weekly FPL content. Alternatively, Baker and I are really looking to grow the channel this year. We've had a great 12 months, but we're looking to take that even further. If you wish to support the channel in that way, you know, we have our YouTube memberships open now. We're looking to do maybe better content, more content, anything that we can make the FPL experience better for you guys. We are going to try and do that. Finally, once again from Baker and I, thank you very much for being here, and now we'll get back to the good stuff. Right guys, as we have mentioned previously as well, the Football Content Awards are currently open for nominations. That closes at midnight tonight, so if you haven't yet voted and you would like to, you know, we've seen some nominations for Best in Fantasy Football Creators, and yeah, any vote that we get towards that would be incredible. We really, really appreciate the support that you guys have given us. It, you know, obviously motivates us to do this every weekend and to do more in the week if we can. So, yeah, anything you can, that'd be that
we'd be doing it anyway, mate. We love it.
Well, we did, yeah. That's true. We do it anyway. So, cool. So, results from the weekend. Are they all laid out for us as we move?
Well, a couple of 5-2s. Don't see many.
No, it doesn't happen too often.
Do we do both the 5-2s first?
Yeah, we can do the 5-2s first. That's fine.
I'd rather just get your Toney love out of the way. Just get it done. He's on the thumbnail, mate. Let's do him.
Let's do it. Cool. Over then to Brentford versus Leeds. So, I mean, okay, cool. I've got him, so I'm going to talk his praises, of course, but he just oozed class in that game. Brentford were right at it from the start. I think that Leeds were unlucky not to get that penalty. I can understand why Jesse Marsh was fuming at that decision. It took an age for that first penalty to be given. Toney doesn't miss penalties. The free kick was something else. I didn't even expect him. I didn't even think he was on them.
No. His interview was quite cool afterwards. He was basically saying it like he's been having a go at him and just losing balls and like and never takes them. They just hits it and just he was just on it.
Yeah. If you want to know how confident the boy is as well. I mean, that third goal was insane.
Even that in his interview, like I heard the interview before seeing the goal, and he just said, "Yeah, so a bit of a madness, but like once I was past the keeper, I just had to chip it in." And I was like, "Round the keeper and chip it in?" Like, I must have been like a narrow angle or something like that. No, it just went around and just bungs it in from 20-odd yards. Every game right now has just got. I mean, we're going to talk about VAR a fair bit, aren't we? Through the night, it's going to happen in these ones, but the thing with. I'd address a bit on VAR in that sense, in the bit that never ever helps VAR is that commentators are not aligned. People don't know the rules, and loads of other stuff, and then they say that, and then everyone else asks that. So we even have this like weird stuff where it's like, I want you to go and look at that, I want you to go and look at that, and do those things and change them on. Actually, I don't think we really do want them to look at that. Like, I don't like the first penalty. I don't like it.
Yeah.
If the referee doesn't give the penalty and there's like a tussle and Sinistera comes away with the ball, that what we know is there's a tussle when Sinistera comes away from the ball, and what we know is the ref saw it. And you're like, why should we review it? Like, that's the bit that we don't really like, is that there's stuff in there where people are getting involved that don't need to get involved.
Yeah.
If he gives the pen, you'd have been like, yeah, I think that might be a foul because he might have put himself in there or done something with it. But
that's not what they're designing it to do, though. They're trying to make everything as objective as possible.
Exactly. Let the ref do it and be the video assistant referee and say, "Are you sure you got that?" Well, I think for me, it's a tussle.
It sounds like it comes from VAR, doesn't it? Like it sounds like the direction of the decision making comes from VAR. It's like, you should go and look at this because I think you've missed that. Whereas I think it should feel, or at least the perception should be, that the ref goes, "Excuse you, mate, I may have missed something. I just had a bad angle. Someone's leg got in the way. Did he get the ball?" And they look at it and they go, "No, he didn't get the ball. You need to give a penalty. Come and have a look on the monitor for yourself." That kind of thing would work for me.
But to step in on that one, which is kind of a 50-50, and he's gone that, and then not step in on the Sinistero one is ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous. There is a bit in that. The worst foul is outside the box, and then he actually tugs him afterwards and stuff. And again, I just don't think the ref doesn't see it. So the ref says, "I don't think that's a big enough tug," and turns. Then at least but it's just crap. It's just crap.
Yeah.
But once you get a pen, it's just a guaranteed goal at Toney, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, because he never even looks at the ball. It's really strange how he does that.
It's just beautiful. It's beautiful to see. It's a stunner. Sinistero is a player, isn't it? He is a player.
Yeah. Really direct for the goal as well.
Really
no
good.
intention of anything but just going for goal as well. So, there's still, I mean, Brentford's fixtures are still okay coming up. So, I think they're really, I mean, I've already got him obviously, but Toney feels like a good option.
He's a hard man to move off once you've got him in, I think.
Yeah, but there are others we can go to. There are other options.
At
that price, right? So it's going to be a bit of fun that we're going to have, I think.
Like Bamford. I've just realised that big spike on screen. I just remembered.
Oh God, the Bamford chance. Yeah. I actually, I tweeted about that because, and then Lucy came and messaged me back and was like, "Wait till you see Shay Adams."
When we get to that one, does that count?
No, you don't get any XG for
because he handballs it.
He handballs it. So
incredible.
It's not on there. Could have been basically a 0.99.
Because I think he touched it before he handballed it, Shay Adams. So I wondered if he still got some XG for it and stuff.
I don't know. It's
brilliant. But they were fun and we keep saying it. They make substitutions to keep getting results and keep pushing. Wissa will come off the bench and score. He will do that time and time again. Boomo keeps going. Is Toney plays 90 minutes. Now, the beauty of Toney is that, he got those earlier goals on this one, but there will be times where he gets the late goal.
Yeah.
Because he's still on the pitch and they're still charging forward. And they're still doing what they're doing.
No Europe. He's going for the World Cup. He's got a fair chance of being in that World Cup squad, given his, he's like the second highest English striker at the moment. Is he not in 2022? Yeah. Whether Southgate picks up on that,
I think he will be. I think he's pushing big for that plan. He's really competing with Tammy Abraham for that position behind Kane, isn't he, at the moment? And he's the man in the limelight, really, because we'll see this league every league. So I think he'll just keep pushing.
Yeah. Cool. And
good asset.
A few people moved on to Harrison last week and saw him taken off at half time. Was a bit odd.
It's not for me. It's just not for me. I know
they've got a couple of goals, but I don't think there's anyone in there that's as attractive as Rodrigo.
Once you start getting to 6 million though and above, and you haven't got a third forward, I don't get it. Like, get to Mitrovic, get to Toney.
Yep.
Like, find another reason to get somewhere else. Just don't see it.
Yeah, there's a question in the chat just about the graph that we're showing on screen, and it's from Praveen, who's asked about what do the XG values in the brackets indicate. So it says here that Brentford had 2.5 XG, and that in brackets it says 2.1 to 3. Now, as far as I'm aware, that is
it's the noise.
It's the noise around it. So what could be a 0.7 chance could be a 0.65 chance, or a 0.3 could be a 0.26. It's basically the variation, and then the middle ground is kind of where the line goes. So if there's any, you see very little variation on the penalty because everybody has this agreement that it's 0.76. Is it? I think
I think it is. So where it's got 2.5 there, if I went to Brentford on understat, so understat would have been something people would have seen in this one. Brentford down as 2.75 on understat.
Yeah, and if you go to FB Ref, they'll probably be slightly different.
Slightly different. So you have different places do different things and slightly different what they would count it.
Yeah.
And so it's the noise.
It's the noise.
The bandwidth that might be.
Cool. Okay, so anyone else other than Toney that you're thinking of from this?
No, I don't think you can. And they still keep bringing the fun. So as much we talked about them last week about this is the new Leicester.
Okay. Well, I was going to say you spoke last week specifically about these teams. Did you want to go through that? Did you want to just send everyone or just show everyone a quick reminder of what Baker said last week?
There are teams that are accumulating it, on the regular. When we see the Brighton, when we see the Leeds, when we see Newcastle, Fulham, Brentford, these teams are now fighting with effectively the 5 attacking asset, which is Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Tottenham, and Chelsea. You've suddenly got 5 cheaper ones. And I say cheaper ones because from an FPL perspective, which is what we play, there's bargains there to be had in attack for those ones. Yeah. So what we talked about last week is there are now more teams. There's 10 teams regularly hitting over 1.5 XG. Leeds and Brentford were both in it. We said it last week. If you had players from these teams, plenty of them to get, returns in 7 goals.
Yeah. You want to go to another game with 7 goals?
Go to another game with 7 goals, another team we mentioned.
Just say it. You have to say it now. Now it's a thing. It's now a thing.
Thing is, our mentions now, like literally, as soon as that game went 1-1, Brighton, Leicester, mate. As soon as that game went 1-1, it was just suddenly.
I was planning on tweeting it when it went 1-1. I was buzzing about it, and by the time before I'd even tweeted it, I'd already had 3 notifications saying, "Guys, so you got to say the line. You got to say the line. Say the line, guys. Baker, say it. Say it." Amazing.
What a team! I thought. Leicester, if we just talk about Leicester for a second, no Vardy in starting lineup, and then they score straight away. 2 forwards.
Yeah.
We won't know because they're not playing European games in the middle where that goes to next week. They did have a midweek game into this one. So, they had the shortest turnaround of everybody else. So before everyone reads into this, Nacho and Daka suddenly are playing and Vardy's not playing. They played Thursday night, played again Sunday against the team that had played Tuesday, Sunday. So, it's not. It doesn't. I wouldn't read a massive amount, other than the fact that Leicester just are creating nothing. They're just creating nothing. They get that early goal, then after that,
it's a miserable. It's a miserable watch, to be honest.
They're overpriced, the players now. That's the problem.
Yeah, you don't want to go anywhere near them. And even if we're thinking of like, even like Maddison now with 2 up top makes it feel difficult because
if it is 2 up top, but I think it is either way anyway with Barnes and Vardy or Daka and Nacho, whatever it is. But you're like, oh, there's going to be 2 people in front of them. No, I don't. When you've got a team continually not getting past 1 XG, I don't want to be involved in their attack.
It's a problem.
Because game state, they're always going to be behind.
Yeah.
Like Brodge needs to go, mate. It's over.
Yeah. Agreed.
And Brighton are just a fantastic team. And they're all fantastic. Caicedo and McAllister.
Really, really great players.
Absurd.
Yeah,
absurdly good. There was a reason why United were linked with spending like 50 million quid on Caicedo. He's really, really good, And then you've got Trossard. Then you've got Gross is literally like I said it a few weeks ago about playing like Van der Vaart. He's much like Van der Vaart. He's just always there, always involved, always pushing the envelope, like just continually
pulling strings. He's on set pieces. It's not direct free kicks clearly, but corners at least, and that's not a bad thing with the the likes of Dunk and Webster in the centre.
He'll tick over. I know.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people say, but McAllister will tick over.
Well, yeah,
they are getting pens.
Yep, they're getting pens, and
so
he should have had another one as well today.
Yeah, we can say because of the VAR controversy, which we can talk about that again. But we can say that I think he hasn't had. Am I right in thinking he hasn't had a shot or an assist in open play?
A goal or an assist in open play? Well, yeah, no, he hasn't.
I think he's had 0.02 xG in open play this season.
Basically nothing. So I think out of those, I wouldn't be. But I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be looking at McAllister. I still actually wouldn't be looking at McAllister from that point of view. I definitely think that Trossard is once again kind of being overlooked.
Yep.
Maybe that's just because Gross. You can get to Gross for. Is Trossard 6'5"? Because
6'5".
Yeah, so you can get to Gross now still for like $500,000 cheaper as well at the moment, which is why he's the popular one, I think, more than anything. Because Trossard's always going to be the one that's more direct than Pascal Gross. I know you feel like... I know he scored that goal where Trossard flicked it around the corner to him. Or no, that was the other way around, was it not?
No, it was that way around. Gross flicked around the corner to Trossard.
Gross flicked around the yeah, exactly. So he's the one that's direct. He's the one that's going to be penetrating the box, and he's a decent finisher.
Oh, I like it. I like.
It doesn't help that Danny Ward gives him like 4 yards of space to his left hand side to shoot into because he's a rubbish goalkeeper. But
doesn't it? Away to Bournemouth, home to Crystal Palace, and then we're into game week 9, where a lot of people are looking at wildcard anyway. Yeah,
which I think is fine. So 2 games of Brighton. If you've got a couple of Brighton at the back or up the top, I mean,
up top,
you could. Yeah, I don't see why not. Because, particularly if you're coming off an 8 million, I mean, it feels punty. But I mean, if you're going to come off like Kulusevski, you could do that. You could come off Mount, obviously, in the next couple of weeks because
the thing
Chelsea
with Tross
away at Fulham and then Liverpool. That doesn't sound fun.
The thing I like about Trossard now is because he's got 2 positions, like a left wing back or this number 10 stroke, even number 9, type player. I used to always be worried about getting early sub. Now I'm not really, because it's either seems to be he plays left wing back and then Estupiñán comes on and he goes up there, or Estupiñán starts and he's up there and then he doesn't even come off either.
Well, I think the thing with Estupiñán at the moment is that he started his last game, played well, got an assist. I mean, and then he didn't play this one, but he went off with a bit of an injury, did he not? In the week. So that might just explain the rotation in there because he wasn't quite ready to start. I'd expect Estupiñán to start. I would say so. And then you'd have Trossard up. You'd have Trossard up there all the time. So
when he was left wing back, and I went to Tottenham Brighton in April, and he was left wing back, and you were like, yeah, but he still scored the winning goal, mate. Yeah. And because he's clever and he is just a very good player. So I don't mind it. I just don't mind. We've got a 2-game punt.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
Yeah. Lots of fun to
anyone fancies it. And yeah, McAllister, if you've got no money and you want the cheap option, you're shitting points.
Yeah. Yeah, somehow he's
like a half-price Bruno, isn't he?
We can't go there just yet because I don't have a graph for it.
I can't. I don't think any of us need to even consider Maddison right now. Let's see what the next couple of games is, and then Forest, Bournemouth in 9 and 10. Maybe we have no choice then, but to try and get him out of the fun. But you'd have to think Villa at home this week, derby game as it were.
Or the Palace one.
No, Leicester Villa this weekend.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Well,
I can't see Brodge makes it out of that if Villa put Tottenham over.
No, I don't think many Leicester fans really care about Villa, to be honest. Mate, it's not a derby.
No, but
it's not a derby.
It's a relegation derby, mate. If nothing else, it is. Steven Gerrard's got 10 points in 17 games for Villa. If Leicester lose at home to Villa, he's gone.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then we can worry about Leicester at wildcard. Where we go next then? What else goals we got?
Where do you want to go? You want to go to the league leaders?
Let's go to the league leaders. We got a chart for league leaders?
Oh, mate, I've literally just done it now while you've been talking just then.
Have we got the chart?
We've got this one.
Yeah, we haven't got, for those on the YouTube, we haven't got our normal chart because the person who makes our charts is an Arsenal fan, and conveniently we didn't get a chart at the end of this game.
I think he's a bit busy doing commiserating and whatever, sort of being pissed off about something, which is fair enough. So yeah, we've got from the Opta analyst, and this is probably explaining some of the noise that you'll probably see when that chart does come out. It will make sense. But what did you think of United today, or what did you think of Arsenal? Let's start there, because I don't think there was anything other than facing better opposition. I don't think there's anything that's really changed too much. I mean, we're still seeing these big spikes in XG, which is which is still a good sign from an FPL perspective. I'll caveat that every time. And obviously we can discuss the VAR here as well, I guess, and the challenge, which was or wasn't.
I mean, we didn't even mention in the Brighton game that we said VAR, but it's just ridiculous. So we just move on from being ridiculous to being more ridiculous. I feel very similar about that goal as I did about that Toney penalty earlier.
And then he's standing straight in front of it as well. He was right in front of it.
He knows exactly what's happened.
Exactly. He's seen what's happened.
Yeah.
So
now, again, if he blows the foul, I'll be like, oh,
okay.
He blows the foul.
Well, yeah, I think everyone else. I think Xhaka throws his hands up in the air, or no, Odegaard throws his hands up in the air, and then everyone just moves on. I think if that happens, like nobody else has a fuss, like, at all. But
I think what Man United have started to do is their organisation. So there was a period in the second half, just before they scored, actually, where Arsenal were right on top, but they had 9 men. I counted at one point they had 9 men in the box. So there was just one man. It literally was just when like Rash was able to do the runs. Everybody else was there.
Yeah.
Across that back line, and you were like, they're dropping it in, they're fighting hard for clean sheets now, and they're fighting hard to protect their goal. And I'm like, that's a good sign for a football team that they're now doing that. I haven't seen that. Well, I didn't see it under Ranić at all, and we hadn't sort of seen it, but they really were pushing to hold spring. And I'm like, good. At least you can see the identity of it. I think people would say Arsenal are on top and do all those ones. If a team's putting 9 men across the back, they're allowing you to dominate. That's okay. So then when they break quick and score, you're like, game plan's worked. Yeah. We're going to invite them on. We're going to invite them on. We're going to invite them on. We'll hit them.
And it's funny because we've seen that for 3 years at Tottenham. So it's like, we see it all the time.
That's good. That means training's working. That means stuff's happening.
Yeah.
Good team, in terms of what they've done. Arsenal, you did think they were always going to get into it. Like I say, I don't think VAR should have got involved on the Martinelli goal. He took it brilliantly, by the way, and what he did, and everything he did all game. I thought Martinelli he's a danger man.
Yeah.
Then Saka equalises, and you just think at that point, hope for a draw. Really, I think as a Tottenham fan, I was thinking that way, and Man United picked up the pace. And even that shows you a little bit that they allowed Arsenal to do that stuff a little bit. The fact that they were able to push them and turn them out. I do think if you can go at Arsenal, they can expose them. Vieira, I felt in the first game with Palace, as soon as he went at them, they were like, oh, I don't really know what we do here about this when someone does that. They are a really well-drilled team, but I don't think they're a very flexible team. And I don't think they've got a lot do in their flex with this. Like, brought on Smith Rowe for Odegaard, and they often take off the other centre midfielder. And I'm like, well, now you've got no midfield, so people can just cut through you. That's exactly what happened here. They've not really got enough centre midfielders to start taking centre midfielders off.
Yeah, and it's not like, I mean, it's only really Leicester that they've played so far that attack in that way. And in terms of like quick transitions, and in terms of like Maddison and Vardy like piling through, previously they've had Villa, who, okay, Watkins can do it, but generally speaking, they build up more slowly. Fulham, again, looking at target man Mitrovic. Mitrovic is not going to be running the channels through the channels against centre backs. That's not how he plays football. No, it's absolutely pointless. Bournemouth, whatever.
I don't think we should forget when we had our pod with Simon just after the prices had come out. One of the things that we remember he wasn't particularly keen on the prices, but he said about Rashford, he was like, well, if he's playing, everybody's going to have him. Everybody's going to have him. He'll break the gap, because you've got a £9.5 million player at price of £6.5 million. I think we should just keep that in our heads that if this team does function, there's £6.5 million player there.
We'll all be there. Because and United are going to be very difficult not to be heavily invested in. It's going to be really difficult because the most expensive fine. Okay, they're fine. Ronaldo's the most expensive, but outside of that, it's Anthony. It's Sancho at 7.5.
7.5. And
like if United turn out to be, I mean, fine. They only put up 1.35 xG here, so it doesn't scream like setting the world alight. That said, they were playing against the team that's beaten everyone else so far this season.
Exactly.
But
Jesus,
I mean, I think he's changeable at this point. I think he's.
You did a bit of work on the old forwards. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's just have a look at let's have a look at the forwards for now. So, I mean, the data here is from Fantasy Football Hub. And what I've got on screen for anyone listening is I've just got like their XG, their XA, which combines to make their XGI, their expected points, and their peak. So, in terms of how explosive they are, and it's quite easy with forwards to work out how explosive they are. If they've scored a hat-trick in the game, it's quite clear, right? 17 points, nice and easy.
Yeah.
But there's one thing to notice. Obviously, Haaland is miles clear, right? Miles clear. In fact, his XA is pretty good as well because they just create so much at City.
We'll get to him. I thought his general link-up play was excellent.
Yeah,
I really did. I was really impressed with actually some of the passing that he did, let alone the fact that he's just a beast. But
Jesus here, XG of 3.1 with no penalties, which is fine if you compare to the others who have penalties. But just remember that Jesus doesn't have penalties, which is a problem.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. His XA is actually like lower than everyone but Mitrovic. But Mitrovic is kind of this one-man band. Well, he's not a one-man band, but all the focus on all the XG that Fulham are accumulating are through him. So his XA is going to be generally quite low.
It's him
because it's all him. And but yeah, so underlyings are lower. And he had that one spike, that one game against Leicester where he scored 19 points. Outside of that, he scored a goal, and
so he's got 14 points in 5 games.
Yeah, basically.
And the thing with Jesus is because he works so hard, he's getting booked.
Yeah, exactly.
That's happening more and more. It feels a little bit like he's going a little bit more into the Lacazette type role, where he's suddenly becoming almost the worker. Like Martinelli feels like he's like steps up, and Saka now is starting to return. Yeah. I think if I was wildcarding, I think I would come off.
No, I agree. I agree
because I don't think he's essential in the technical. Is I think you can see it that we've got plenty of good strikers that are doing the stuff. It's quite difficult to afford Haaland and Kane. You can't do it, but it's certainly you've got to make some sacrifices to it. But you can afford Haaland, Toney, and Mitrovic very, very easily.
I mean, we're in game week 6 now, so I mean, although the transfers happen in like early doors after a game week are still somewhat indicative of just people just doing whatever the hell they want rather than making sound decisions. Jesus has been like the most transferred out player so far, has he not?
It's going to happen. People are going to take him out.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look now. Rodrigo.
Yeah, well, Rodrigo is going to be, isn't he? And Salah and
Rodrigo, Salah, Trent. Yeah, but he's the most sold striker anyway.
Look, they're home to Everton.
That's the problem, and the problem is obviously he's still at like 78% ownership. So any points he gets if you don't have him still hurt.
Genuinely, I don't think we need to worry about that anymore. Like, not as it is, because you got players that it's not like, oh, I take the pain on 78%, but because you're gaining someone that's got 20% owned or something like that anyway, and it's like your players are also going to score points.
Yeah,
like everyone's.
What you look at, you have to sort of gauge, who you're attacking, who you're gaining on, or who you're losing against. Because all the dead teams have Jesus, all of them.
Yeah.
Every single one has Jesus.
Of course they do. Game week 9, that home Tottenham game. I just think a lot of people are going to, a lot of people looking at wildcard. I think.
I mean, between us, I think there's absolutely no way we'd have him in game week 9 anyway.
well, that's awesome. Yeah, but it's not just the fact that he's got those ones. It's the forwards and what their games have got. You've got Toney away to Bournemouth.
Perfect.
In that game. You've got Mitrovic home to Newcastle. You've got...
You can go Bamford at home to Forest if you want.
You've got Bamford at home to Forest if you're back by then. We might have Nacho. We might know that Nacho is playing every week, or Daka's playing every week, and they're home to Forest in game week 9.
Oh, sorry,
yeah. Even your Slanky at home to Brentford. They're conceding goals for fun. Yeah, Leeds are home to Villa, aren't they? Bamford's home to Villa.
Bamford's Villa. Sorry.
There's loads of good options for forward. I think a lot of people will move at that point. But as people have seen, we're moving off Toney. These are players that can bang. What you have got, Haaland, Toney, Kane, Mitrovic, and Jesus, is all players that are continually or have already hit a double-figure haul.
I was going to say exactly that, yeah. They've all hit a double-digit haul already. Haaland's obviously done it twice. So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about the other two, shall we? Toney, Kane, and Mitrovic. Good, easy way to move into us.
That's a really good way. So,
I mean, offside, just for Tottenham perspective, 2.8 XG, but offside goals in there as well, which both would have been off the charts.
Yeah.
So
much better. And I go back to the point.
Easily our best performance this season.
I go back to the point that I made last week about Højbjerg, in the fact that he's much better with Bentancur in place. We had Romero come back in straight away, just makes things a lot better, and Longley as well he's cruised into that position in his first game.
Oh, Longley was superb.
It's just I wouldn't say it's night and day between him and Ben Davies, but you can definitely see his class on the ball. Definitely,
yeah, it's really important for Conte teams that the wide centre backs are part of the build-up play. You almost become 4 central midfielders at that point,
yeah,
and then that enables everybody else to go in front of it and attack. You become 5 at the back and 5 at the front. Your central centre back is deeper, and then the other 4 sit across there, and then your 2 wing backs are up there, and your front 3 can be a full front 3, and that's what we played this way. Is 3 forwards.
Yeah,
3 actual forwards
with the ability to. I mean, it gives. And what's good about that is it actually, when Kane drops in, it actually allows the 2 wider guys to actually just slot into this too, and it's more natural that way, I guess, than Kulusevski, who will hang right. So it kind of lopsides our attack, but at the same time, that's we'll set up slightly differently there, because we'll be more like a we'll still have that threat from wide, but we'll attack more like a 4-2-4 with Kulusevski, whereas we'll attack a bit more like a 3 up top with 2 sort of supporting. Well, it's mainly going to be Sessegnon, but Emerson dropping in slightly. But yeah, it's just a slightly different way we'll attack.
I've been saying for quite a while that it's not a rotation with Perisic, that they'll play him as much as they can and play Sessegnon when they feel they can't, and they do need to rest him. Europe's now on the table. We don't know where that goes, and the fact that Sessegnon in the couple of games he started now is getting returns and stuff. We talked for the summer about the fact that he's done all of this, strength training and something like that. That was the most aggressive I've seen him in a Spurs shirt. Definitely. The confidence, the aggression is right there.
Yeah. That was that's a massive difference. Agreed.
Massive difference. He always looks like a player that doubts himself, but he was real on it.
It does. I think it goes back again to the centre backs as well. Facilitate that just by the strength of the ability of Longley to be able to play that ball into him that puts him on the front foot straight away, allows him to take an extra half a second to make a decision, and whether that's pull it inside to Højbjerg, link up with Son, whatever it is, before he then sort of overlaps, whatever he needs to do, makes a difference. And you're right. I think the conditioning training that he's done pre-season is obviously paying off.
Bear in mind, Tottenham have got City this weekend. Are Tottenham just a no-go area right now?
I don't like us in 7. I see a lot of people wanting to get onto Kane for obvious reasons. He scores goals and stuff like that. I mean,
home to Leicester, mate. In 8.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and he does score goals home to Leicester.
He does.
He loves playing Leicester. It's his favourite team he plays against.
Yeah, he scored like 18 goals against them or something ridiculous like that, or even maybe more.
I think a lot of people will be eyeing up a punt in that game week 8. The obvious one is you can go Salah Son, can't you?
Yeah.
That's the obvious one.
Do we think the fact that we've been harping, or particularly me, has been harping about Richarlison impacting Kulusevski's minutes, do we think that's a problem now?
I think what we look, what we can say, and we've been saying all the time, and it hasn't changed. Richarlison is not there to make the numbers up. Richarlison wants to play, and the fans love him. He's giving absolutely everything, and we've just had our best performance within the team.
I will say that there was nothing prior to the actual change yesterday that made me think that he'd really impact Kulusevski.
No,
other than Kulusevski's been our best player so far.
Kulusevski's done nothing wrong, has he?
He's been the best player so far this season. Maybe it's a reward. Maybe the rest is a reward rather than the punishment.
I think the good part is we'll have the European games.
Yeah,
so we better work it out. Yeah. You kind of expect that. Yeah. We're going to want to own a Spurs player against Leicester, mate.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult not to.
But that could be, almost certainly could be
something.
A manager's first game as well.
Could be. Cool. Right, Tottenham aside.
Mitro. Just.
I mean, his goal was ridiculous as well. I mean, Mikel's put Romero didn't do a good job closing down Mitro in the chat. I mean, he got there. like he got there. He got a foot on the ball. But the problem is Mitrovic is strong. It wasn't the greatest effort from Romero in truth, but Mitrovic is strong, took it out, and when you bang it top corner from there, it's and he had two other chances. He had 2 other chances that had to be tipped round the post as well. So he's legit this season.
Forest in 8, home to Bournemouth at 11, home to Villa in 12, away to
even home to
Leeds
Newcastle
in 13,
in 9.
home to Everton. It's coming. It's just a question of when you're getting him.
Yeah, in terms of ownership,
you're getting him.
Yeah.
There's nobody looking. You can't look at that fixture schedule 8 to 14 and not think Mitrovic won't be in my team. He'll be in all our teams.
I feel like he's going to get a goal ruled out next week, isn't he? Against because he's going to foul Mendy.
Isn't
he? Mendy's gonna scream and
should we go to that
on
one?
The floor. I said that on purpose, obviously, to transition straight into this game. I've never been so angry that a West Ham goal has been ruled out. I can't believe
it. Never been so angry at West Ham go out. I mean, I
didn't even.
Did you watch Match of the Day?
Yeah.
I actually flicked back and rewound it a couple of seconds because I was like, did I look at my phone and miss the first half? Because I literally didn't show it.
Yeah. There was
it was like, this is so dire. We don't even want to show it. We don't. No. We do not want to show this stuff. No. So they just got it gone as quickly as they possibly could. Got it gone, and who can blame them? Because rank.
Yeah. Oh, and again, these XG charts are not to scale. So.
Yeah. This looks like a otherwise that chance is the biggest chance the world has ever seen. That first goal. I mean, it was like a tap in on 2 yards out. But that's never a foul, that first one. It was his own player that went into him on the first goal.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous.
He was still wriggling around there, wasn't he? Trying to get something from it.
They're so unclinical though, Chelsea. They're so in attack. You know, when I watch the play, they just try. They've got to find a way to play Ben Chilwell, mate, because that goal, the first one.
I mean, I sent you a text. I said the Toney goal was ridiculous, but wait till you see Ben Chilwell's.
He just doing this all last season when he came. Well, the 5 or 6 games that he played, you know, he genuinely finishes like a striker, like a really good striker.
Yeah.
He sort of reminds me of like Mane, but he's a left wing back. Like in the way that he plays.
He feels
comes
more
out left.
Yeah, but he feels more composed than Mane. I don't know why I think that, but
he's just done that. We shouldn't forget, like, he came on and wins that penalty like in the last time he's played. He come on and he's done this again. He's just too good not to play.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be long before he will be number one, and you know he's going to want minutes and push for World Cup as well, definitely.
Oh, because he should be
England's left back at the World Cup.
Yeah, you watched Sessegnon and watched Chilwell this weekend, and they are explosive players. Like, we should be having options like that left wing back.
Yeah,
we shouldn't be mucking about with like sticking Trippier over there or something weird. Like those two should be.
Anyway, that's a conversation for another day.
Chilwell, mate, get him in the team.
It's a great ball across for Havertz as well.
Great ball across. The bit on the Vard goal.
Let's do it.
What I would say is, in midweek, Villa scored a goal against Arsenal. And Ramsdale, you know, talk about protecting keepers, and Ramsdale didn't get the protection that you kind of assumed they were going to. But when I watched it, I was like, well, Ramos is fighting back here. He's like got his arm around him. He's trying to tussle with it. It's just gone in. He's just been a bit crap and a bit weak.
Yeah.
I'm actually incredibly impressed that Mendy has decided in that moment to not carry on goalkeeping. Because he isn't hurt. Like, there's no way he's hurt. So there's a brilliant view where you can see his face and he realizes that he's pushed the ball out to another one to Cornet.
And that's when he's gone back.
Everything about you says that he should just try and get up and try and make another save. But he actually has the balls to just go, I'm just gonna play dead. I'm just gonna play dead.
This goes back to an old chat that we had about VAR and about context. Like, more about context than anything else. I mean, just look at the context and how that played out. Like, the whole thing about it. Like, what was Mendy's intention? Was he coming to claim the ball? If he'd have come to claim the ball, right, and the ball comes to his chest, Bowen's foot hits him, and it comes loose. Then, okay, there's a bit of justification there, right? The ball comes loose, and then they score. So he's kicked him. The ball's loose. It's no goal. But he's actually he's palmed it out with strength directly into the path of a West Ham player that he can see. And then
you've got to practice that, sure. Like, you can't be that quick-brained that you've gone, what I do in this situation is I play dead.
Yeah. It just doesn't. Because
it seems so unnatural that you wouldn't just sort of scramble to go to the ball. He's literally got, I play dead. And then they show him a replay of a man pretending to be dead on the floor. So therefore, like, well, he is pretending he's dead. Do you think we should better send him to the monitor?
Keepers will dive the full length of the goal to save something, and they will land from 5 foot in the air, and they'll land on their side, on their shoulders, on their arms. Yeah. What do they do when that happens? They get up. Right, that's the first thing they do is they just get up.
This is where you need the ref.
I fucking hate it, honestly.
To actually be tough. This is where you need the ref. Because what the ref should go is, the ref should just point at the man that's laying on the floor pretending to be dead and go, mate, he's fine. Just laying on the floor because he doesn't want this goal to go in. Like, literally, he's just laying on the floor. He's not even really hurt. So we don't need a physio. Just get up, mate.
And if playing sleeping lions as well, yeah, exactly. I mean, if the ball had hit the bar or gone over the bar or something like that, I bet you would have been straight up, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. It'd have been straight up, giving it the old, I'm fine, okay, I'll soldier on. Yeah, whatever.
It's just
it's farcical. Honestly, it's farcical.
Farcical?
No, don't.
Hey.
I mean, like PGMOL, I mean, to say they've come out today and admitted that decision was wrong is like, thanks, mate. Cheers. We appreciate the obvious note of whatever, who cares? Why weren't you there yesterday?
But once you open that door, like, then
that's the problem.
All respect's gone, it's done, it's over. Yeah. Just give it up. Yeah.
Oh, right.
We might as well do another one. We just stick with VAR and do the Newcastle one.
Okay, yeah, why not? Well, we got any other takeaways? I mean, Colm says Mitrovic or James red card next week. I mean, could be either. Like, James should have gone as well. He could have gone.
Yeah. If you had...
if Antonio had rolled around pretending to be dead, I mean, let's pretend that might have happened.
But like I said, I think people watch it and then think, well, that's what I need to do, because I don't think keepers, goalkeeper union, type things. Mendy would have seen the situation that happened to Ramsdale in the week and that he didn't get the protection. And he's gone, well, the way I get the protection is I just roll round.
Yeah.
Ramsdale honestly went for the ball, was blocked off, couldn't get there, but because he's actually tried, that's a goal.
Yeah, Mike giving it the old if that was Granit Xhaka.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's
let's go Newcastle. Let's just get the VAR.
Before we get there. So
I like the VAR.
No, I know, but like we haven't talked any FPL really. Like Chelsea,
Cucurella, sell him.
James,
keep him.
Okay, fine. West Ham, good fixtures coming up.
Not yet.
Newcastle, Everton, Wolves, Fulham, Southampton. What do you mean not yet? You don't think? Is there anyone though? That's the problem. Is they've got good fixtures. There's just no one to pick.
Owen's too expensive, like, for what he's doing at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. No, fine. Newcastle. Go on then. Let's do it.
3.2 XG, Newcastle.
Monster.
They're just a really good team.
Yeah.
Because Palace are a good team.
This is what's crazy. It's like 0.9 XG from 13 shots, and like 9 of them were on target, which is mad.
Pope's just a Pope. It's just Pope. He's Pope in a better team than Burnley. It's the best keeper of the last 5 years in a team that are now better. So he'll get more clean sheets.
Yeah, and it feels like the defense has improved in the way that Lloris used to get those soft, small
Dubravka used to get them. I had some Dubravka, even under Howe. Dubravka was a save monster.
Yeah.
Now Pope's a much better Dubravka.
Cool. Yeah, no, agree.
Trippier is a better player. I'm looking at all of their players are better. If I was wildcard, I'd just find a way to get Nick Pope in.
Pope and Trippier at the moment, or even there's potentially Fabian Schär actually as well. But
yeah, it's a good cheap option, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean he's cheaper than Trippier, better XG, potential to have free kicks as well.
Returns 1 in 6, 1 in 7.
Where did I hear that? VAR, do it.
So
this is the bit.
This is where it's too complex for them, isn't it? Because it is right that he fouled the keeper.
Correct.
But it's the fact that he got pushed into the keeper that made him foul him.
Yeah, because he was just going to head it in the goal.
So they should have disallowed the goal, but then awarded the penalty.
Yeah,
because it was right to disallow the goal, wasn't it?
But
because he has fouled the.
But no, because they've gained an advantage. I would say they gained an advantage in the moment after the foul had taken place. They gained an advantage. This
is the problem. I don't think they know. I genuinely think we're like, is it a penalty or is it a goal? Do we just get that? Like, it doesn't feel right to not give the goal, but
yeah,
he did foul him.
But again, this is one of those he didn't even show him the angle that showed the push. They chose to show the angle to the ref that didn't show the fucking push. Like, it was so clear from the other side, and we could all see what he was watching on the monitor, and it wasn't that replay. He never saw that replay.
It's so awful.
It's so bad.
All of it is so bad, and yeah.
I mean, it's weird because it happens more often than we want it to, of course, but like, it's really been amplified this weekend. It's just been absolutely horrific this weekend. Everything about it.
Yeah, this is. But it's too much now.
More positively, Newcastle defensively. I mean, they're about to hit good fixtures now. So West Ham, Bournemouth at home, Fulham away could be tough with Mitrovic defensively, but then Brentford, United, and then Everton before 12. Generally good, and the decent. I think they're all right going out to the World Cup as well.
I think West Ham, although they're picking up, I think Newcastle are just playing very, very well, and then Bournemouth at home, you just want a piece of it. Bournemouth at home, Fulham, Brentford. Yeah, Everton.
It just feels like we can. It feels like we can
set and forget. Trippier's set and forget. And Pope could be set and forget.
Yeah. They could be set and forget, but I'm thinking like Isak could be one of those, like, you moving around your 8 million, 7 million strikers.
We didn't even mention him. We mentioned those games in game week 8, didn't we? Is Newcastle home to
Southampton. Sorry, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
No, we did just say that a second ago.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, I think we did
say that ago.
Yeah.
Isak. Yeah.
Yeah, Isak as well. I mean, like, huge chance. I mean, obviously he tried to be cute with it, etc. So
yeah, it's refereeing. A good refereeing if you want to go the 0-0, though. Liverpool, Everton, in a way, like, so Anthony Taylor, like, he just has a philosophy of let it run. Yeah. Just let it run, let things go, keep doing things, and but when you have that philosophy, we talked about this before on this pod, is that he creates problems in that things boil over. Yeah. You will have tackles that will be nasty.
Yeah.
Because people get annoyed.
Yeah.
Onana and Van Dijk, like, I was really impressed with Onana, but he was going up, and all of Pickford's goal kicks were being aimed at him, and he was constantly fouling Van Dijk, because obviously I ain't going to stick Gomez up against him. It's just too big.
Yeah.
So Van Dijk was doing it, and he was just into him all the time. So that was brewing. And then guess what? You get a really bad challenge. Like, Anthony Taylor is basically not reffing games. Then when he decides to want to ref games, he just hands out yellow cards for fun. He's the one that actually does need some VAR help, because he needs the bit that I missed that. Oh, this is what's
happy to let it go.
Go and look at it, and he'll make the right decision if you showed him it. I'm pretty confident in his ability, Anthony Taylor, compared to the rest of them. But I think I'd still rather a ref that just lets everything go than I would the nonsense that we're getting from some of the others.
Yeah.
Football-wise. Salah.
Football-wise.
Can you come off Salah?
I think you can. I don't think you want to before Wolves, because I think you've just still got to have that. I think you've still got to make it as a fixture play. You still up. It's tough on captaincy next week, I think. I remember.
You know that
it's tough on captaincy.
Every predicted points model will say that Salah's the best captain option.
Of course they will, but I mean, of course they will, and I think there's good reason for that. There's good sound reason behind that. Firstly, Salah has the ability to go nuts. He does.
Yep.
Liverpool still good attacking team. I think maybe I think not having Thiago is obviously a problem. Not having that link up play between sort of Núñez and the midfield. I think they need someone like Firmino in there to sort of just pull that string a little bit. That might change against Wolves. Whether that pulls Salah inside,
the big issue is the fullbacks, though, isn't it? The big issue for Liverpool is the fullbacks. Is you've got you've got fullbacks which are literally have destroyed the league for the last 3 years. Broken all obscene records you could possibly get for assists, and you're not starting one of them and then taking the other one off in 58 minutes. Like, I can't work it out. Like,
I mean,
we got a bad review on here, didn't we? When I suggest that Klopp was a bit arrogant, but do you not think taking Trent Alexander off on 58 minutes is ridiculous
in the Merseyside derby? Yeah, a little bit, but then at the same time, I mean, he's had out of all the players, I mean, it's only him and Van Dijk that haven't had any rest at all. Coming up with Champions League.
Alexander, just how many times does he get injured? Like,
yeah, he doesn't.
He's never injured.
Yeah,
plays every game.
Yeah,
just tell him to stop running and start pinging balls in.
He's probably not going to go to the World Cup either, is he? That's not.
It just doesn't make sense, that substitution. I mean, that's not that I'm bitter that we didn't get the points, because everyone gets those points. But it's just silly.
Yeah.
I keep saying it. This league suffers no prisoners.
It almost feels like Klopp's trying to make a point around the fixture time as well, like, because he hates that 12:30 Saturday stuff as well. He just fucking hates it. Those short.
He gets given the first game of the game week because he's got a European game midweek, and he's still going to moan about it. He's going to moan whatever they are.
Yeah, arrogant prick.
They've got to find a way and get going. Saying that, you've got shots off the inside of the post. You've got Salah at the post at the end.
It was a fun 0-0. It was a
fun 0-0.
It was a fun 0-0. But like end of match of the day. Obviously, it was because of the score, but
when they went at them, they were the same old Liverpool last season that you can get them. Mopé, Gordon, they caused some problems.
Yeah.
It's.
I think he can. I think, look, they've got Chelsea, Arsenal, and City, 3 of the next 5, and then European games intertwined with those. So,
of teams we've mentioned so far, where would you be leaning for captaincy next week?
Next week, probably Salah. Next week.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what happens in Europe as well. So, yeah, I mean, Europe's always a factor. So,
Haaland?
No, I refuse to do it.
Can we talk about him? We talk about City.
We can talk about City.
We're not talking about City, have we?
We've not talked about City. We've also not talked about Wolves, Southampton, or Forest and Bournemouth. And we need to make sure we get all the teams in this time, because
we'll get whinged at.
Didn't even realise until that tweet came out, did we?
I mean, Villa created nothing, but still managed to score a goal and or should have scored a second goal.
Yeah.
But hey. I mean, I was okay with that one because it was the stupid part was the on-field ref, not the VAR ref, in the fact that he'd blown the whistle.
We know the VAR can't get involved.
Yeah, blown the whistle
because the whistle was blown and everyone had stopped. It's kind of one of those things. There's too many moving parts to actually. So yeah, that is what it is. It's a bad decision.
How good was that ball from KDB?
Oh, I mean, like the fact that Haaland was. I mean, and it's also the fact that Haaland was already there, and he'd been in the air for as long as I think Ronaldo went up for that header. If you remember, however long that was.
Yeah.
That header, that header, he got like 7 foot, like 8 foot in the air.
Stayed there forever.
Just stayed there forever. But he was just there, ready just to tap that. The ball was just ridiculous. The movement between him and Bernardo as well was great. Obviously, took it in his stride. Yeah, just delicious, that ball.
Yeah, mate. Haaland, all-round play, way he leads the line. It's just godly, mate. And he gets 90 minutes. Well, he gets 90 minutes because it's
game state. Right, that's it. That's what we need to accept from a minutes point of view from Haaland. I mean, if City aren't winning the game, they need the best striker on the pitch. I mean, that's not really difficult to understand, is it? But we can't predict. So what we're then having to do is we're having to predict game state. But then we all expect City to just trounce everyone, don't we? Like, is that what our expectation is? That City were going to be like 3-0 up after 45 minutes, and then so Pep could go, Erling, come and join me on the bench. You've done your 45, you scored 2 goals, it's all good.
I'm so calm on this. Before the game week, like the choice of Haaland or Salah I was like, we don't know what we don't know. So just keep betting on the man that's playing and starting and is looking the best player in the world. Why would you not keep backing the best player in the world? And he's got Tottenham this weekend. But
that'll test my resolve, because we've been right.
We just see how Europe goes this week, and you'll get some ideas. But
but he's not being rested against us.
No, he's not.
There's no chance.
But he gets rested against Sevilla, or it is in midweek. Then you're like,
yeah, that's true. Because he could.
Salah plays 90,
which he will.
Yeah. Jota's back. Firmino's back. Diaz is there. Nunes is there.
Jota, old club.
Jota, old club. Yeah.
Right. Talk to me about Bailey.
He's 4.7, mate. It's a dream.
Mate, he was a dream at 5 million. Why is Gerrard such?
Yeah, you just can't trust him. You can't trust Gerrard. Ultimately, we said this earlier. You don't want attacking players from teams that aren't getting to 1xG, and they're not getting to 1xG. Now, nobody gets to 1xG against City, but you need to see them start doing this. And you're always, if you get him now on wildcard, I don't hate it because he's 4.7. So I probably would get him on wildcard. But would he be sitting third on my bench, and will he score lots of points? Yeah, I think we're all gonna have like record seasons for bench points this season.
Yeah, probably.
Because most of us have got Danny Ward on our bench, so he's getting that 1 point every week. But 38 points at the end of the season is still better than what you normally get from reserve keepers.
That's yeah.
And then we've got Andreas and Neko, and somebody we've got Patterson. Didn't mention him earlier, but Patterson was brilliant. And we've got, we're going to have Bailey now. It's going to be another one, 4.7.
Yeah.
People are going to do it. But you're not going to bring him in. That's the main thing. Just whatever happens, nobody's bringing him in unless they're on wildcard.
Yeah. Anything else on City?
Wolves Southampton.
3 guys picking up max bonus this week. Mad.
Nathan Collins. Podence. Good finish, Podence, wasn't it? Do you think he meant that? I think he meant it. You're not sure, are you?
No, I'm not sure. There's a bit of it felt like when Ozil used to do it, it felt deliberate. It doesn't feel deliberate.
I watched it a few times. I thought I need to keep looking at this to try and see.
I probably need to watch it a few more times.
I think he means it. And if he does, it's just so underrated. He just sat him down.
Yeah, literally just completely fooled him.
I hope he meant it. I really hope he meant it. God knows how for Southampton. Look at that. Home to Southampton, and Southampton got 1.7 XG.
That header, that second header is the one that we see there, the spike that we see there, because he had a second header that hit the bar. I think that must be it. From like 3 yards or something.
Must be.
Because obviously if Shea Adams doesn't miss the ball from a yard out, he just misses it completely.
Must be.
It's one of the most comical things, because it was brilliant, because he went and celebrated as well. Like, he didn't have 14,000 cameras on him in every different angle, and he denied it. He denied it. No ref.
I quite liked the idea of. I really did quite like the idea of captaining Trent this weekend, but even after last weekend, you can't do it. But it is very hard to not want to cap a Liverpool player in this game.
0.9 XG at home.
Yeah. That's as much you need to talk about them. Yeah. We're not buying any assets from either of these as it stands. I was quite interested. They're 6'9" striker at 5.5, and they tears his ACL in the first game. That's that done. Move on.
I can't believe we left this game till last, but just
5-goal thriller.
Ridiculous.
Bournemouth.
Ridiculous by two teams that can't defend.
Because you've got a pen in there, and actually, when you then take that out, like
and the Anthony goal was the Anthony goal's got a high XG because there was nobody in front of him. It's just him and the keeper from 10 yards out.
Actually, when you get it out, like you're like,
But let's talk about the billing goal though. I just would rather talk about the goals than actually
the billing goal. I mean, what is it there? Like 0.0. It's
something.
Absolute.
Like Henderson didn't even see it.
He's massive billing as well. He's 6'5" billing.
Yeah, he's big.
He is a big boy.
Yeah.
Solanke back. That's good for them.
Yeah, definitely. Made a big difference. A bit of luck with the finish, but
still leaking goals, though, mate.
Technical stuff, anyway. Well, I mean, you expect them both to leak goals all the time, don't you?
So, you would do.
Nothing changes here in terms of targeting these two teams at all. Forest still have the worst underlyings. Bournemouth have the worst going forward, so you just expect them to concede because they're just going to be under pressure all the time. That said, I mean, we may see them change slightly now they're not under Scott Parker, so it might just be. I mean, Solanke's the only one, really. But the problem with Solanke is that we have Mitrovic and Toney, and we've got Kane and Haaland, and we've got it's just too many. Isak and
those five you mentioned, and then
Wilson's got to come back as well. I'd rather,
yeah. That's probably the only thing that starts to worry about on Isak is we don't know what's going to happen when Wilson comes back.
That's fair.
Wilson's body does not trust himself very often.
Yeah, cool. So we're almost at like an hour and 15. So just want to talk about. You sent me a what you would look like if you were wildcarding now, right?
If I was wildcarding now, this week.
So there's not much. I mean, you're not far from the team already. I mean, you did move. This would have a Perisic to Trippier in there if you hadn't already done that last night.
Correct. So I did do that last night.
I wish you'd have told me the price rise, though. I mean, I wasn't paying attention.
Kind of just assumed that was. I wouldn't have been doing it if it wasn't a price. I'm not just, it wouldn't have been like a frantic move on a Saturday night if it wasn't.
I clearly wasn't paying attention last night when you sent it.
Yeah. So there was a price rise. So I went to Trips. So buy Perisic. That's the thing. If I wildcarded now, it'd be like a -12 or something like that. And you're like, well, that's not worth wildcarding. In itself, not worth wildcarding. But maybe it is. Maybe this is the season where actually you just do it rather than take a -12 point hit because we're all so close.
Yeah.
So maybe that is the way that you do it. But I think to myself is if it is only you're getting like a 12-point gain, i.e. not taking those hits, just wait and see if something else comes around. Because if we're always in that position, then maybe we do look at that like game week 18 free hit, whatever it is, and do it right at the end. But I don't know. I think there's enough in the fixtures going forward that we will do. I would still stick with Sanchez and Ward in goal. I would probably still at the moment stick with Trent, Cancelo. I think Trippier set and forget. I currently would have Patterson and Williams. And then I've got Salah, Martinelli, and Gross currently as my starting three. Three forwards in Haaland, Mitrovic, and Kane. So I'd go for the triple premium. And then I've basically got to play one of Patterson, Neco, Bailey, or Andreas every week. And the other three will sit on my bench and get loads and loads of points. The one I pick every week will definitely get no points. But I think triple premium is on. Like I didn't feel like it was on in game week 1. If you wanted to, you can triple premium, and it doesn't feel like you're giving a lot away now.
I think that's because we're not going as heavy at the back as you would want to, as we were thinking as well previously. Because people you still got two,
big
two, but then you're down at like 5-4-4 rather than 6-5-5.5.
Yeah.
Right. So you've obviously saved quite a lot there. Yeah, no, I don't mind it.
But it's quite inflexible that. Like once you do that, I'm like, well, how do you then move anything else around? And that's what I don't like about this. And I'm like, I just come back to it's too early.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Too early. Because Chelsea still, I know it's VAR, but Chelsea still won. They still won 2-1. We don't know where they're going to get to, but they'll get better. And, I'd said,
but you think like Aubameyang's going to come straight in?
Well, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with these ones. I said 2 weeks ago, James wouldn't leave my team all season. And now, if I were doing a wildcard today, he wouldn't be in it. But give it 2 more weeks, it might just be what it is again. And that's why I'm not. I think it's forcing it if you're looking at wildcard now.
Yeah, no, that's.
And I think if you're going to do it, be aggressive with it. Like I wouldn't do it and just go, I'm going to tinker and change a few things around the edges.
Fair enough.
Not for me. You?
So I put together sort of a more like a game week 8-9 wild card, and again, I mean, the fantastic thing about this is the players that are in here I expect to do well even in the next couple of weeks, which this had 0.0 in the bank, so I absolutely don't expect to get anywhere near that. However, there are I mean, I did this probably this morning, maybe. So this was before seeing Leicester's, shambles. So, and also how they set up with 2 up top as well, which is making me concerned about Maddison at 7.9. But then that's okay because Maddison can become pretty much anyone below 7.9, and there's a lot of good options below that. So I'm not really concerned. Too much about him. I mean, yeah. So I've got Pope in goal. So for people listening, I've got Pope in goal, and I've gone with Ward as well. Obviously, I've still got Trent and Cancelo. I'm happy maintaining them, and then Trippier. Obviously, I put him in this morning, which is why he's 5.2 and not 5.1. Neco and then Emerson from West Ham. West Ham's fixtures are good. He looks to be starting. So
So both going with 2 cheapo defenders.
Yeah. Which. We spoke about XG last week. I mean, teams are putting up a lot more XG. I mean, how many goals were there this weekend?
Oh mate, well, there's 2 5-2s. There were 2 0-0s though.
18, 19, 21, 25, 32. It's quite a lot.
That's a lot. Right. With 2 0-0s, it's an awful lot.
Yeah, 32 with 2 0-0s. So I don't think there's any real need to push it on the defenders. And I mean, you're saying you had to bench one of your 4. I mean, I can just bench Neco and Emerson all the time. It's fine. But then West Ham do have, they got Fulham in there at home and Bournemouth at home before the World Cup, and they've also got Leicester at home in 16. So there's opportunity to play him there as well if we need to. And then I mean, Forest have had their easiest game now, so there's not much there for Neco except he's just placeholding. But
KDB over Salah?
Well, yeah, and KDB could be Son, to be honest, in the short term as well. If you're looking at 10, 11, 12 in particular, Brighton, Everton, they've got Newcastle and Bournemouth as well before the World Cup. So you could rotate between KDB and Son. I've got Martinelli still in there. I mean, still he's just ridiculous value. Pointless leaving. Zaha, I mean, Palace are good fixtures all the way to the World Cup. Set and forget him. Maddison could be anybody, and then Andreas 4.5 is a lock because of the value that he gives. But again, he's going to spend most of the time on the bench, and I would rather than having the 2 premiums up top, I'd rather balance out the squad in midfield a little bit, and then because as we said, like Isak could be Wilson, but Mitrovic and Toney. Yeah, they're all. Oh mate, they're all scoring the points, right? They're all scoring goals. They're all scoring points. So I'm quite happy to have those sort of 2 mid-priced, call them mid-priced strikers, and then have them up top with Haaland on, because he's Haaland, and just go. just go with that. So that's kind of where I was until Maddison did what he did today, which was nothing, and so that could change slightly, but that's kind of the ballpark where I am at the moment. But I would be looking at just keeping with 2 premiums myself.
You're not really convincing me, or I'm convincing you though that we want to do that this week, are we?
No, and that's it. As I say, look, this is a naught. There's 0.0 in the bank here, and it's 3 weeks away potentially. So
yeah, it's not happening.
I'm never getting there.
Well, it might do because Maddison probably be 7.5 by then, mate. The way they're playing. So
yeah, that's true.
No issue.
That's fair. So
we're not sure on cap other than Salah's kind of the bus captain, which I think is right. Salah is the bus captain, I think, for most of us.
I was going to say more realistic. These are actually our teams for next week. Ignore the captaincy, I guess. The captaincy should be the other way around between vice and captain. So yeah,
you still got 2 transfers.
I've still got 2 transfers to make. So I've got Edison in goal. I'm looking at maybe moving him on.
To Pope.
Potentially to Pope. Yeah, I mean, I've got 1.5 million in the bank as well. So there's a bit I can do elsewhere because I went from James to Webster last week. So right. there's stuff I could do there. It's just really difficult because Brighton's fixtures are good for the next 2, and like Arsenal have got Everton, and who have they got in 8?
Yeah, so realistically, if you moved Edison on, you still got Perisic as well, don't you? You got cash cows.
Yeah, it's got money. I've just got money.
Because you haven't got the 8 million midfielder,
because I haven't got the 8 million midfielder, so I almost need to take a -4 to get that value. That's to actually gain the value back in a position that actually makes a difference. That's the issue that I have.
Yeah,
because I have to I mean, like going down for the keeper is okay. I can't go down in midfield. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go up front. It's in defence really where I'd need to want to make that.
I think I would just make a move on Perisic and roll the other one, mate. And game week 8, we just saw those striker things. Like there's plenty of things that you can play with in game week 8. You already got, as soon as you change Perisic, say you change to Trippier, you've already got bench headaches as it is.
Well, no, because Neco Williams just comes out really.
Oh yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
I didn't.
That's fine.
Whenever I see the red of Neco, I always think it's a Liverpool player. I just got used to seeing red in there and just assuming it's a Liverpool player. So yeah. So you could just change Perisic to Trippier and then Neco drops out. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think Edison's probably a luxury move, mate.
I mean,
yeah, but you might want another striker in game week 8. You might want a different striker.
Yeah, but I can do that. I can have any striker I want, almost. I can't get to... Well, no, I can't get to that striker, can I?
And we've got 2 rounds of Europe. So there will be injuries happen.
Yeah.
We've got 2 rounds of Europe. Like, game week 8, if you haven't got 2 transfers going into it...
Yeah.
And then you get an injury, you're not going to be able to have the fun of the striker and you won't bother. And what we saw earlier, what you showed me, is all these good strikers have got double-digit hauls in them.
Yep, it's very true.
I want 3 forwards in my team in game week 8 that have the opportunity to get a double-digit.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And one of them is probably not Jesus.
Yeah, true.
So I think that's for me. I'm just gonna wait and see a little bit on it. But we're in strong positions. It's all nice and calm. No wildcard needed, mate.
Yeah. No.
We're all good.
We're all good. Any other questions in the chat before we disappear? We are touching almost an hour and a half now. So we
2.5 premiums. That's all that. Yeah, Sterling. I mean, you're in a position where you can start that, but you need to see a bit more from Chelsea to think that's a good option, and you don't know what's going to happen with Aubameyang.
Yeah.
But I think it's there. I think someone said about against your own team with the eyes. We've both got Haaland captain in these, but it's at the moment it's Salah.
But we will have 2 City players, or maybe 3 against Tottenham. I see us scoring next week.
Eric asked about my reasoning against Reece Jack. I think that was my wild card thing. Just need to see it. Fofana actually is, it could be a coverage pick in that. Is actually very easy to get to in it at 4.4. But they've all got to convince us, because if Chilwell starts playing, Cucurella might just be the best left centre back for him.
Yeah.
And then Thiago Silva and Koulibaly playing, and Fofana's on the bench.
So someone said Chelsea have a good run. Chelsea have a good run from game week 8. So that's Liverpool, Palace, Wolves, Everton, Brentford, United, Brighton, Arsenal. Yeah, I'd say it's better from 9 than 8, but yeah. Yeah, it will improve.
Would you prioritise?
They've just struggled against West Ham and then lost to Southampton. So I'm not really in the place where I can call these easy games at this point.
Because would you prioritise Pope or Trippier? Depends what fires you got, really. I think getting one of them is definitely a good option.
Stupinana sell this week? No, I wouldn't sell him this week. They got Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think you probably just listen for comments. Though.
Yeah, maybe on start.
Yeah. I don't fully know, but I'd definitely look for some predicted 11s. I don't know whether in the more attacking games they stick Trossard up there or do they play him at left wing back. Not 100% sure on that one. So try and work it out.
Play 2 out of Neco Williams, Webster, and Aronson. I mean, I'll go Webster and Aronson personally.
All day long.
Yeah.
No, Nicholas.
Yeah. Because Aronson is against Neco Williams. Is he not? Yeah. At home.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, those two.
Right. We're almost bang on 1.5 hours, mate. So let's be done.
Should we call it there? Cool.
Good.
Nice one, mate. Well, Champions League this week.
Champions League. I can't wait for the music.
I can't wait. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And and I'll be on Spaces during the week. So if there's there's things that will change during the week, you can come and join me on Spaces. Just look out for that on Twitter. If you're not following us on Twitter, do that. The handles are on screen for you. If you haven't done so already and you've enjoyed the content today, make sure you hit like. And if you want to see more of our content, hit subscribe. As we said earlier, the FCA's, the Football Content Awards, the nominations end today at midnight. So you've got a couple of hours to do that. If you would like to, it's all in the description down below. Join the mini league, do all that good stuff. And we will see you next time.
See you next week, mate.
Cheers, mate.